Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. F, F, I, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. L, T, Y. Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Fatal Frame 2. I'm CPC Gamer, and in the last episode I completely forgot about that ghost down the side of the doll stand. Largely on account of I was really sick of that sliding block puzzle, and wanted to get out of this scary, scary room as quickly as I humanly could. Aren't you glad I went back to show you that white streak? I know I am. It was certainly worth the risk of getting lynched by several ghosts, all at once, just so that I could show off that one little thing I forgot. That's what I get for being a completionist. Anyway, on a more serious note, if such a thing could be applied to this Let's Play, in the last episode we found a key. A key to a door that I have not yet shown off, which seems to be the way that this Let's Play is going. I'm getting all the solutions to puzzles I haven't shown you yet, and trying to build up some sort of suspense, even though I can't, because, well, there's really nothing to build suspense over. We also found a fellow down this corridor who was shouting at us, asking why we were leaving. As he and Mayu suggested, he may have mistaken us for somebody else. It was at this point that I worked out what was going on in the plot, but I'm not going to explain it, because you guys can work it out on your own, and if you can't, there's always the in-game notes to help you along. Now, there is a tricky capture coming up. Not because he's hard to see or anything, but, as you've seen right there, because your dopey twin likes to get in the way. That is bull honky, Mayu. Get out the way. At the bottom of the stairs, there is a newly formed hidden ghost, the Garden Woman. And you know what? I never actually said this before, but this is a really, really nice garden. I like this map. If this is your first playthrough, or you haven't actually found it yet, you may wish to go around the corner here. Again, we have a newly formed power-up. We should have a newly formed power-up. Hey, there it is. Evade is something that I showed off a couple of times in the previous game, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in this game because, well, it's really hard to do. Basically, if you pull the shutter as soon as a ghost grabs you, then you'll break free of the ghost and he won't actually hurt you. Now, do I want to go through the Great Hall? No, I really, really do not. Thankfully, that one ghost isn't here anymore, so let's go. Yeah, see, she's got the right idea. Do you get the plot twist yet? 'Cause there it is.
Mayu, what's wrong? It's nothing.
Oh, nothing. Just hanging out in a bloody room full of dead guys that only I can see. It's cool. We do this every day, right?
Miu, hurry up. Let's go. We have to get out of here.
Again, at this point I can only apologize for the...
I don't want to kill anymore.
Oh no, that's not a good quote. Remember what happened the last time we heard I don't want to kill anymore? There was quite a lot of killing. I mean, it's not that I mind the sentiment or anything like that, it's just... I'd really be kind of happy if this woman left us alone. Except that that one's not a woman, that's a guy. So, yeah, this fight is kind of a fine example of why I'm not overly keen on the fight system in Fatal Frame 2. The fights take a lot longer than they did in the original game. And, as I say, it's largely because of the way that the camera works now, because we have to get up close and wait for them to attack if you want to do any significant damage. There's also no music to speak of. I mean, even the final fight in this game has nothing other than the ghosts whining and the ambient sounds that you'd otherwise hear. I mean, I'll grant you that it would ruin the mood to hear a full-fledged soundtrack, but I mean, what was wrong with the subtle music that they had in Fatal Frame 1? With the previous game, one of the scariest sounds was the start of Broken Neck's theme, that thunderous taiko drum. The scariest sound in this game is my 360's read head shuffling over, which means that it's generally about to change something, and I'm not to notice what it is. This is the 9th Spirit Stone if you found all the ones that I've shown you thus far, so you can upgrade the camera as far as it can go if you ignore the special functions, which I did. So yeah, I suppose the combat system is why this game isn't as appealing to me as the first one. I just don't think it's as engaging. I mean, I am all for realism in video games, generally, but there is a limit, you know? I wouldn't have minded if they put in some sickening music or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And yes, as we progress through this game, she's just going to get more and more insane. So as I've mentioned, we did actually find the door that requires the butterfly key, the one that we got after fighting the woman in the box. He says as he tries to open a wall and walk through it. In fact, it's this door. But we're not going to open it just yet. We're going to head this way and try to leave, even though we can't. Because there's a set of legs. I don't think I got that one on my first playthrough. So, kind of glad that I got it there, largely on account of the filament doesn't glow. And from the sounds of it, there's meant to be another ghost around. He says as he focuses right on it. Again, that's another ghost that I never got on my first playthrough. Kinda glad that I saw it there. And yes, much like in Fatal Frame 1, the magic words seem to be, I can't see a ghost, if you want to spawn a ghost. And don't mind Gigantrus to the left of your screen there.
Why do you run?
Again, there's another tricky capture because Mayu likes to get in the way. But whatever. We can open the door, and we can go inside. Now in this room, there are some pretty cool hidden items. This one right here uses one of the models from Fatal Frame 1. Not the only time we're going to be seeing that in the game. There's some medicine in the drawer. I believe there's something in the clock. Yes, indeed there is. And you may have seen it before. Don't know if I can see it from down here. Ah, yes. There is an item in the rafters, but we can't get it just yet. We'll be coming to that soon. Now, don't shoot this guy right away, because he will go through this animation no matter what you do. Wait for him to poke his head around the door. That way you can get a much, much better and clearer shot. It'll also open the door, which is quite nice of him. Do you know what? I've been without Mayu for so long, I've got to get used to not running. Man, I hate kids that run away from me. Just like in the first game, they are so very hard to snap. Ah, well. Of course, with that said, there's another really tricky ghost down here, and I've yet to work out how to catch it, because from what I've seen, it spawns right next to you. Yeah, you saw that guy, right? How on earth am I supposed to capture that? So, a little bit further down this hallway, we have our destination. First time I played this game, I kind of thought this was the hallway from the movie that we saw in that house. I mean, it isn't, because I know what corridor it is, but... well, every corridor looks the same. We can't go through this door. It's locked with a diamond this time, but we did come here just to find that out. It allows us to go along with the next little set of puzzles and whatnot. You'll notice there's a lot of senseless wandering about in this game, but I do suppose that's a given, since we're in a village rather than just a single house like the last game. Of course, with that said, I know I've mentioned this before, this game is very good at looking bigger than it actually is. It's not a small game, not at all, but it does give the impression that it's bigger than it is. So we need to head upstairs, and... okay, kind of embarrassing confession time. When I was 8, my family moved house and we lived in the south for a little bit, and we had a half spiral staircase, much like the one I've just gone up, and I'll be honest with you, I thought it was the single greatest thing in the world. What can I say? I was kind of a retarded kid. Ah, there we go. I knew there were some notes in those drawers. You know, you see that one line, the elder sister, well, elder twin, in this case? In my last job, I actively had to explain the concept of an older twin to somebody. It's not just me being stupid, is it? I mean, that is an actual thing that people recognize, the concept of an older twin. Did it really take you guys that long to make a poltergeist reference? Really, game?
Neil, there's something over here.
So this is kind of a ridiculous little section. We have to examine the hole in the floor, which raises a flag to tell us to go down and collect an item. Backtracking! Alright, enough complaining about that. I'm done. Sadly, the game is not.
I think so.
This is another model from the first game. Shortly after fighting the boy in the clock, we walked up the stairs and that ball fell down the stairs at us. After us? Towards us? Towards us, that's the one. I really should not do this when I am really tired and running on 4 hours of ghost-related sleep deprivation. Anyway, picking up that ball, we can now push the ball through, which will dislodge whatever that was. You'd think that maybe the ball was what we needed to pick up. Or... Hey, there we go. That's the death stare I've been meaning to show off since video 1. Yeah, you'd think that the ball was what we needed to pick up, but no. No, it is not. Was there really any need to make us go up and down so very, very much? And now we have the Diamond Link Key. Join us next time when we go through that one door that we found and use the Diamond Link Key. So until next time, goodbye.